And we are following breaking news here on CBS Sports HQ. Dustin Johnson has withdrawn from the 3M Open. The number 4 golfer in the world was the favorite going into this tournament, but his opening round today, far from that, shot a 78, 4 balls going in the water over the course of 2 holes. Now, DJ's return to golf since the shutdown has been a bit of a roller coaster. You probably remember he won about a month ago at the Travelers, but then last week at Memorial, shooting a pair of 80s Thursday and Friday, missing the cut. It was his second missed cut in 4 starts, and this would have likely been his third. Taking a look at DJ's scorecard from the day, as I mentioned, finishing with a 78 there. And you see on 17 and 18, that is where he had 4 balls go into the water within just those 2 holes. He also had 2 bogeys on the front nine, so not the return or the performance, I should say, we expected for Dustin Johnson here at the Memorial, but again deciding to withdraw, citing a back injury. All right, let's bring in 2 of our experts to talk about what we saw from DJ, the latest news there. Rick Gaiman, Kyle Porter here. Kyle, we'll start with you. I know you're working to get articles on CBSSports.com right now about this. So tell us what you know about Dustin Johnson. Are you surprised that they're now citing a back injury with what we've seen from him over the past couple weeks?
No, not really, because, as Rick and I pointed out earlier, it's inexplicable. And so maybe there is some sort of injury there. He hasn't really hinted at that. I know some people were kind of talking about maybe him gimping around a little bit in the first round. With DJ, it's hard to tell. He's always kind of moving at a little bit of a snail's pace. So you never really know if it's a strut, an injury, or something else. But to me, I don't know if this is as much necessarily about an injury as it is, I'm not going to go out and grind out the second round of the 3M Open when I've got a major championship coming up. I think what's really interesting about this, if you look at the last time that DJ withdrew from a tournament on the PGA Tour, it was 2015 at Memphis, the week before, or the tournament before the U.S. Open. He goes out at that U.S. Open, he's got a putt to win it. So we've seen in DJ's history, he's withdrawn from tournaments and then gone on to play a major right after that, had a real chance to win it. So it'll be interesting to see if that's a similar case at the PGA Championship here in 2 weeks.
Yeah, this was simultaneously very surprising and I guess not surprising at all. We were joking around earlier in the day that he'd probably have to go out and shoot the course record on Friday to make the cut. I guess we're not going to be able to see if that wish can come true. But now, over his last 54 holes, Dustin Johnson has played them at 23 over par, which, without diving into the history books, I can't imagine there's another 54-hole stretch in his career that he played that poorly. So we're right in the midst of something kind of historically bad for Dustin Johnson. And if it is a back injury that has been ailing him, it would make a lot more sense, because otherwise we're left scratching our heads to try to figure out why a top 5 player in the world who won 2 weeks ago goes 80, 80, 78 in his last 3 rounds. So very interested to see what Dustin Johnson has to say, what he has to do in the coming weeks. But this is now one of the major stories in the world of golf.
Kyle, this is a huge shot in the dark there. A couple years ago, Dustin Johnson, you may remember, said he had this freak back injury where he fell down the stairs and didn't play there for a little bit. Any chance in the world, any chance at all, we're going to hear about that? This could be a lingering problem, or is that just so far-fetched?
No, I don't. Of course, I remember that. He had won 3 straight times going into the Masters and apparently fell down the stairs at his rental house. I don't think it would be anything related to that. Again, I think that this is the most likely scenario here is that, yeah, maybe the back's a little sore, a little stiff. It doesn't seem like a major thing. Otherwise, I think we would have heard about it going into these last few weeks. So I think it's more of I just shot 80, 80, 78. Mm-hmm. My back's a little sore. I'm going to move on into the next tournament. So to me, that's more the direction that this is going in.
I would also agree that that is the direction, because we haven't heard anything about this from Dustin Johnson. And not that he's like the best interview ever, right? His press conferences are like historically and usually very short. So he doesn't give us a whole lot, but there was no indication coming into this. There was no indication on Thursday that kind of the back was ailing him. I think this is more forward looking to potentially the WGC next week and making sure that his game is right for the PGA Championship, or at least fingers crossed, right? That's that's what we're hoping for. We're hoping this is a get out of town early card as opposed to an actual injury for one of the top players. So I just can't wait to see and hear. I'm sure he'll be asked about this, or maybe he'll tweet something, who knows, about what's going on. But very interested to see what comes next for DJ.
All right, let's talk about that. You did mention the PGA Championship. You see the dates right there, August 6th through the 9th there. That is just 2 weeks from now. So, Rick, if you're Dustin Johnson, if it is something that is not absolutely terrible, his back is sore, he's had some bad rounds here, what is your plan over the next couple of weeks, and do we see him at the PGA Championship?
Certainly think so, right? I mean, this is where this is the sprint that all the top players in the world have been waiting for. In fact, a lot of them took the week off. Now, DJ is going to get one round out of the 3M Open, but this is what they're all preparing for, which is the stretch of golf that is a WGC event followed by the PGA Championship, and then we're going to go right into essentially the FedEx Cup playoffs, and then we know just this stockpile of major championships that are coming. So I fully expect DJ to be there, to be involved in all of these events, and also, maybe a little extra practice time if the back allows it, for him to figure out what is going on with his game right now, because his last 3 rounds, again, 23 over par in 54 holes, that's not going to win you many major championships, certainly not even going to allow you to make the cut anywhere. So for DJ, it's rest, it's health, and getting that game right.
I think what's actually going to be maybe even more interesting, I agree, I think he'll be at the PGA. My question is, does he play the WGC next week? You know, that's a place in Memphis where he's thrived. He's won there, I believe, twice over the course of his career, different tournament, but the same course there at the TPC course in Memphis. And, that could be, that's a spot where if you're going to tune the game up, that'd be a great place for him to do it, just because he loves that place. He holed out there a couple years ago to win that golf tournament. So I'm really intrigued by, do we see DJ not in 2 weeks, but actually next week as he tries to prepare the game for the PGA?
Kyle, really quickly to follow on that, just make your, if you were him, he's 36 years old, he's complaining about his back now, he's had some poor starts here. Do you play, or do you take the time to rest?
I think I actually play, and the reason why, he actually took some time off after he won the Travelers Championship, what was about a month ago now, so he didn't play Detroit. He did not play the first event at Muirfield Village, the Word Charity Open. He did play Memorial, but he only got 2 rounds, and then he has this 1 round. So 3 rounds between the Travelers and the PGA Championship is not a lot. I can see him going to Memphis and playing that tournament.
All right, guys, hang tight really fastly, that's a word there. Hang tight for just a second there. So again, Dustin Johnson withdrawing from the 3M Open, was the favorite going in, citing a back injury, but we are still going to be keeping a close eye on this tournament. It is very entertaining here. We'll have live look-ins of the featured groups, coverage throughout the day, analysis from our experts. We will also pick that up beginning tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern. Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.